Hi there. If this is your first time listening, this podcast is for those aged 18 or older and may talk about mature topics and have lots of bad language. So, if you're not 18, you should probably go ahead and get out of here, you fucking cunt!
Now that I have you both here, I have a confession.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to jump in to say the thing.
Well,
I'm not.
That's-
I'm not going to jump in to say the thing today. I am. Chilled out is the one mode that I have available to me. Y'all can fight over it. I'm just here for a good time.
Well, that's okay because I distinctly remember having to say something considering today's topic. But considering the fact that we've already started, we already know what's happening. Welcome to the Chaotically podcast.
God damn!
We watched early yesterday. Let's just rip that band-aid right off.
We watched only yesterday, weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks ago, I think.
But it's okay. I watched that movie enough times to remember like it was only yesterday.
Oh my fucking
There we
God.
go.
Here
Congratulations. We got there, everybody.
Yeah.
Podcast over. We can all go home.
Okay. Well, the thing is that if I ended up watching only yesterday with y'all, and I ended up liking it more than when I initially watched it a few years back, I had to start off the podcast by saying I was wrong about only yesterday with that one. But given the fact that the podcast has not started with that, you can already tell my opinion of only yesterday off the bat. Probably.
So can I just say I love it?
Yeah, go right ahead.
I loved Only Yesterday, honestly. I think it's probably one of Ghibli's more underappreciated works. But that's just me. What do you think, Missy?
I remember that coming into this movie, I was like the wild card that like neither of you could predict whether I would enjoy it or hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it, y'all.
Well,
I'm
there we go.
sorry. It's really good. I have not gotten away from a Ghibli movie without crying so far.
Yeah.
You've cried at all of them?
Yes.
Oh, dang. Yeah, no, I think this is the first time we've kind of had a split opinion on Ghibli films, because while we had a bit of a split opinion on the dub for Kiki, this is the first time where we're just split on the movie, so...
Yeah, the movie, it's on its own merits, yeah.
Yeah.
Both Missy and I have a very positive, look on this movie, while Chloe is a bit more... Would negative be the right word, or...?
I wouldn't say negative. Mind if I can take the floor here real quick just to speak on my opinions on it?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so it's not the fact that I hate this movie. I just want to get that off my chest real quick. I don't hate this movie. Certain people online who have miscommunicated opinions about this movie, I don't hate this movie and I don't think it's boring. I actually think that as an overall premise as a movie, Only Yesterday is actually one of the most really down-to-earth Ghibli movies that I've seen in a hot minute. And watching this for the third time in my life now, I can definitely say that I understand where this movie was coming from and what it was trying to do. I just don't really like how it was executed at the end of the day. Because I love the aesthetics of it. I love the way that I made a comment during our watch through of the movie that, the style of, the flashbacks to, the childhood points of it really felt like it was trying to evoke the imagery of, trying to really pinpoint a very vivid memory, but, everything else surrounding it was very, out of focus or, incomplete. I love that aesthetic, that artistic style to it, and I felt like that worked really well to its favor. But a lot of the flashback moments, particularly in the second half of the movie, really did kind of get to me in a way where it started to make me feel uncomfortable, because I've made it no secret that I was undiagnosed autistic for most of my life until I was in my 20s. And seeing those flashback moments during the movie, especially, well, I guess content warning for child abuse, I suppose, in a way.
Very much content warning, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There was variable physical abuse and potentially verbal abuse to an autistic child in this movie. And even just recollecting that particular part of the movie is making me feel a little bit on edge because that shit happened to me a lot when I was a kid. And watching that movie, again, this may all just be like my own personal feelings of that, like clouding that for the most part, but it's the same thing like with Grave of the Fireflies. It's a part of the movie that makes me so uncomfortable that like I don't feel comfortable going back to this movie as much as like the rest of the Ghibli catalog, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and like the morals in some of the parts of the movie as well are kind of interesting. Like I get it. It's for the time frame in which the movie is set in both the flashback and the present day parts of the movie. But it really kind of made me be all like, what the fuck are you trying to say here? Is this meant to be a positive thing you're saying right now?
I think on that point, there, like, just to kind of go on to the film's defense for a second, I
Yeah.
think I don't think there was ever any insistence on morality of actions necessarily on the part of the film. More just it's just the thing about Only Yesterday is, how do I explain this? It is very much a film that does not really insist too much, if that makes sense.
It
It's
feels very like you can have whatever takes you want on what happened, but I mean, at the end of the day, these things happened and they cannot be gone back to and changed.
like the stuff that happens in the past very much inform how a character may view it in the future, and it's not necessarily taking a position on that viewpoint, but it helps us inform the character a bit, if that makes sense.
That does
Yeah.
make sense.
hmm Because again, like just for the sake of the people listening, if you haven't gotten this yet from the movie, there's basically two stories going on in Only Yesterday. One that takes place in the present day in the character's adult life, and one where we flash back to random events in her childhood. And essentially, without going too neck deep into spoilers, there does come points where the stories do intersect to basically guide the main character where she is now. And that's kind of made clear pretty early on in the movie that that's what's essentially happening.
Yeah.
And I think it helps, like, basically a lot of the stuff you get to know about Taiko is packed into these flashbacks, basically. They really do help inform us on why the character is how she is and has, like, kind of this very upbeat, chill attitude.
And also the fact that she's very willing to share these stories with, like, obviously people who, like, we know that she knows the people that she's telling the stories to, or at least
Mhm.
most of them. So, like, there is that level of safety and familiarity to share that information.
Right.
But also the fact that I love that, like, we it's never said outright, but, like, it's obvious to the 3 of us that Taiko is autistic.
Right, and I'm not sure if that was intended by Takahata when making this movie, or if it just came about of his own misunderstanding of like people who act this way.
Well, I don't even think it was really Takahata's original choice to. It would have been Takahata's original choice with that one,
Mhm.
because it's based on a manga that was released 9 years prior.
True. I think if I read the manga, I could probably gauge a lot about where Taiko's coming from, and if there was an intention to that she was neurodivergent, or if it was completely unintentional, because you never know. Like, especially if it's never outright said, like.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
you never know, but that I think the fact that it's never said only makes the reading better and more respectful.
True.
Like, I think that's one of intended or not, that read and that lens, in my opinion, Tycho is one of the better, if not the best portrayal of an autistic individual that I've ever seen.
I'll say
I'm trying to.
she's one of the more realistic ones I've seen in
Yes.
media like this. I wouldn't say that she is the best. I would very much say
Okay,
that she is one of the more realistic ones, yes.
best is subjective. Yeah,
Yes.
Mhm.
and my qualities for best are not very well defined, and I don't know if I can throw those together off the top of my head. But yes, definitely more realistic. That's the angle that I was going for.
Hmm.
But to go into an aspect I really love about this movie is that while the stuff that takes place in present day, the animation's super detailed, vivid in colors, and just very, probably, I'd argue, the best looking film we've had so far.
Yeah.
Just
Definitely
a,
the most refined. Yeah.
yeah,
I
this
think it's kind. I do think it's kind of a bit of a toss up between Only Yesterday and Totoro for me.
that's fair. Totoro looked amazing, but the stuff that takes place in flashback, her childhood, are drawn with very simple colors, kind of a children's book illustration type of look. The backgrounds are barely there. They're pretty like they're not, and it works because this is a character remembering something she did, and we don't remember things as children with 100% accuracy.
Right.
Hmm.
Like we'll remember key moments, but like some of the filler stuff, like, oh, what did the house that you guys were having this important conversation in front of look like? I dare you to tell me. Like, you like, but yeah, no, it's a good visual style that like that really helps this movie pop to me, and why I think it's definitely one of the more it really shows that Takahata may only have done a few movies as far as this long marathon and body of work for Ghibli goes, but the ones he does are always memorable.
Oh,
So,
They
yeah.
stick with you. Yeah.
and just to jump ahead, I won't have the nicest things to say about his next film, Pompoko, but I will still say my compliment on the visuals still holds strong with that one. So,
That is very fair.
mhm.
I just feel
But
I
really
know
bad
nothing
that,
about
like,
Pompoko.
but I'm sorry, I just need to say this real quick. I feel
Hmm?
so bad for the fact that both of my lower tier on my personal rankings with this one are both films made by Takahata, and it's purely because of the rewatchability factor. Both his films
and
are
Yeah.
fucking beautiful, but he's made films that are just like, I don't know if I can come back to this anytime soon, and that fucking hurts to say.
I think that really shows the divide between his films and Miyazaki's. Miyazaki's films, like even the darker ones, tend to be very welcoming, and you can go and watch them any time of the week. Admittedly, while I love a lot of Takahata's films, and like 3 of his films are in my top 10 as far as Ghibli films go, I do need to be in a certain mood in order to watch them. So,
Hmm.
Yeah.
like, Grave of the Fireflies is a film that I seldom go back to. I do go back to Only Yesterday quite a bit, but it's only if I'm willing to sit through a film that is a bit long, not a lot's going on. Like, if my own ADHD isn't cooperating, I'm going to be bored. Like, uh, and I think that, but yeah, like, I will say, yeah, it's out of the 3 films of his I love, there's only that I would put in my top 10. There's only one that I actively go back to and can watch any day of the week, and we won't be getting to that one for a while. So, and you could probably just surmise what it is based on the fact that I said that.
Hmm. I think I know which one it is, and I'm just like,
Uh,
yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm.
The Boy and His
But
Heron.
that's not even Takahata, Missy. Wrong.
I just thought of the most recent Like, what is the farthest space from here?
The 2010s.
Well, if we're counting, the 2010s was when Takahata's last movie came out, but Ghibli goes as recent as last year. Ghibli as a whole
Yeah.
goes as recent as last year. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, I get where you're coming from with issues with Only Yesterday, Chloe. I still love it, and I don't think that necessarily changes where I stand, but I at least understand why. I will say I love it, but I do acknowledge it's not for everyone. It is a very different film, I'll say that.
Yeah, like, this is not me saying, oh, hey, this movie fucking sucks. Or, like, the one thing I at least wanted to be proven about this was that it wasn't boring. And I feel like that was 100% never the case with Only Yesterday. And I feel like anybody who comes online saying, oh yeah, Only Yesterday is like really fucking boring, is a hack. And I am not afraid to admit that.
Can we can we talk about how certain internet critical circles focused way too much on the fucking pineapple scene that only lasts like a minute?
You could say his name. Fucking Jello Apocalypse fucking ruined the general consensus of this movie goddamn
He
forever.
did. He did, and normally I'd not want to call someone out, but after how he's destroyed his own public reception, I don't think there's any issue with that. So no, I hate how his video has kind of become the holy scripture when talking about Only Yesterday online. So like
Genuinely
I went
speaking, yeah, it fucking sucks.
Yeah, like I remember I went about like sometime last year when I was when I was like about a couple years or so ago when I rediscovered my love of Only Yesterday. I remember I was watching Chris Stuckman's review, which was a very positive, very high praise review, and there were so many comments in the comments section that were just parroting the shit in the Jello Apocalypse video.
Yeah, and it's like,
And while I'd love to call him out, that's just a small part of a bigger problem on the internet where no one wants to have their own opinion on things and just parrot what other people say.
yeah, this is why I fucking say that, like, stop letting popular people online be the basis of your opinion. Form your own fucking opinions, fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm. And I'll have more to say on the Jello Apocalypse shit when we get to when Marnie was there, but that won't be for a while.
Oh, yeah. Look, at this rate, we're probably going to get to when Marty was there, like, in 2026 at this rate.
We're
I'm down.
still going. But yeah, overall, I really like Only Yesterday. I do acknowledge, again, it's not for everyone, but it clicked with me. And the final scene that occurs during the credits is genuinely one of the most beautiful sequences in any Ghibli film. So
Yes, like, I will genuinely say this. That last bit that plays, that last 10 minutes of the movie for me is one of the best 10 minutes I've ever seen in any Ghibli film. And that's saying a lot given how we haven't even gotten to, like, the glory days of the Ghibli catalog, if I can be honest about this one from here. Like, that last 10 minutes fucking broke me down a little bit, but it fucking built me back up so greatly, and I'm just like, fuck, this is so good. And, like, there was one particular quote that you said once we had finished watching it, Missy, that has fucking kept with me for so long after the fact.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when you were saying about how autistic people don't just have, like, this happened, oh, live and let go sort of thing about it. These sorts of things, just those sorts of moments, like, live with us forever sort of thing. That last bit of the credit scene is a perfect, like, visualization of how that feels.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, dare I get very personal and anecdotal on that?
Go off.
go for it. Go for it.
So I have traumas. I have
Yes.
anxieties that are very deeply rooted. You both know about these.
Yes.
You listening do not know me well enough to know about these, and I will not be elaborating. But the coping mechanism that I learned healthily, not one of the destructive ones, healthily, when I have a PTSD flare up from past trauma, like it's not me actively in it's not it's not me here now actively in the moment being hurt or being put under pressure. It is it's literally a past version of me that I keep with me, and I know what they look like. I know who they are. So, like, by, like, to talk myself through my own panic and anxiety attacks, I talk I find which past version of me is the one who is hurting at the moment, and I talk to them directly.
Hmm.
For me, it is very much, personal and a little literal. Um, I guess which is also kind of I it kinda broke me from a very deep personal standpoint that the end of the movie had Taiko leaving behind and running away. Not running away, but, like, moving away uh, from the younger version of herself that she had the whole time. That's it.
That's it. All right. Well, yeah, I agree. There's a lot. Yeah. Honestly, I think that interpretation just makes the film better for me. So, damn.
I think the thing
Yeah.
we could take away from all three of our opinions is that Only Yesterday is beautiful. It just might not be the best sort of movie for people who have lived through experiences like younger Taiko has been through. And I definitely will say this. If you are easily triggered by scenes of physical abuse or even just like I guess like verbal or mental abuse in that sort of regard, do be careful with this movie. Definitely watch this, but do be careful about this movie because I distinctly remember having a bit of a days long sort of trigger from this sort of movie, and it took me a while to just like fully calm down after the fact because like it sort of brought back a lot of feelings from that sort of time frame that I could relate to. But
Hmm.
I still definitely enjoyed watching this. I just don't think I could ever come back to it as much as I have the rest of the catalog that we've gotten up to at this point. That's it.
I will say also just also understand that if you're going to watch that, there are a few scenes that definitely represent a different moral and value system than what you may be used to just in a contemporary setting.
Yes.
I like to call it when it comes to movies like this, when I have an issue with that, I call it the Exorcist problem. where I can't enjoy The Exorcist because I have that issue with it.
That is very fair. I guess like where would all of you place Only Yesterday at this point in your own personal rankings?
I'd say near the top, like probably. I think Kiki's at the top at this point, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, Kiki's at the top for me.
I'd say right below Kiki.
Where would you place it, Missy?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wrote down my list after we watched Only Yesterday,
Oh, yeah, that's
and
right.
I was curious whether it still held up to whether I remembered it correctly, and where I placed it is where I would place it now. And yes, my list goes Kiki, Totoro, Only Yesterday. So, like,
Fair
it's
enough.
third down for me.
Okay, so we got Jazzy right at the top, Missy near the middle, and me sort of between Nazca and Grave. So I guess podcast ranking would have Only Yesterday be like, I guess like around about right in the middle, I guess?
Yeah, it averages around like right dead center in the
Yeah.
middle, I'd say.
Yeah, so I guess podcast ranking would go great. I think it was like, God, now I have to remember what the podcast ranking was.
This is why we write it down.
Yeah.
This is why Discord has a word search feature.
Okay, so we agreed that Kiki is still at the top, so it would be Grave, Nazca, Only Yesterday, Castle in the Sky, Totoro, and Kiki.
Sounds about right.
Okay, good to know.
Kiki's at the top and bottom.
Wait,
Okay.
did I say Kiki twice?
I thought you said Kiki twice. That may have just been me.
No, I said Grave at the bottom, Kiki's at the top still.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. God,
I
okay.
don't know what I heard.
Okay, gosh, we're 30 minutes into this podcast and we just said a whole lot of stuff about Only Yesterday, so
It's a movie that has a lot to talk about.
it really
Let's be
does,
honest.
in all honesty.
I really dig movies that kind of have those layers of stuff to talk about, and like even if you get a variety, I love movies where you get a variety of opinions. Like if you stick 3 people in a room, which is exactly what happened. So
Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder what the hell's gonna happen with Porco Rosso when we get to that next time.
spoilers, I might be hot taking on that one.
Oh no.
I'll say right now, I like it. I like it. I don't love it, but that was based on my last viewing. Maybe it'll be different when we actually watch it. So,
Fun. That's gonna be fun.
but I do like it, and that's important. But doesn't matter. It's the internet, because if I give it anything below a perfect score, that means I hate it.
Yeah, do be like that. So, I guess what the fuck have y'all been up to this past month?
Month.
Mostly voice acting, streaming, as y'all have been seeing. I mean,
Oh yeah, how's streaming been going?
good. Shakira and I finished Kingdom Hearts 1. We've been going through Life is Strange, which has been an interesting revisit because I haven't played that game since college, so
Hell yeah.
I think this game is better when you play it post-college, so
Honestly,
Kingdom
yeah?
Hearts 1?
Life is Strange is. I
Oh,
should
Life is
clarify.
Strange. God,
Yeah.
Life is Strange.
I say this as someone who played Only Yesterday when she was in her
You
Played
mean Life
Only
is
Yesterday?
Strange? Only yesterday.
played Life is Strange. Yeah, as somebody who played Life is Strange when she was in her first year of university, holy fuck does it hit much harder a decade later.
Yeah, no, this was a game I was kind of expecting to age a bit, and then oh no, the worst thing happened. I'm enjoying it.
Oh no, I relate to it even more.
Oh no, I relate to this character I used to not really like a lot, so
Oh yeah,
Which
how
one
does
is that?
Chloe Price?
yeah, Chloe.
Oh.
So Game Chloe. I'm gonna distinctly call her Game Chloe, just so
You're having the same problem when you were streaming it, because I'm in the fucking chat.
I
when you-
know.
Going to call her Gay Chloe. Wait, shit.
I know. This is a blue-haired Chloe. There we go. Blue Chloe.
Yeah, Blue Chloe.
Yeah,
Blue
yeah.
Chloe.
Oh
Chloe.
God. God help us if we do before the storm, because she doesn't have blue hair in that one.
She has distinctly brown hair in that one, so don't worry.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay,
More
so yeah.
complicated than Apocrypha. We have Chloe of Chloe of Blue and Chloe
So
of...
Oh god.
no. It's funny. I used to massively dislike Blue Chloe, but no. Then the worst thing happened. I found her relatable. So, and this is kind of a weird.
horrified expression.
So this is kind of the weird thing I notice is that, so to go a bit personal, there was a time during my college years where I was just an absolutely horrible, toxic individual. And through playing Life is Strange, I realize now why I disliked Chloe so much initially and why I like her now. And it's kind of this weird moment of revelation.
Oh yeah.
Chloe reminds me of me in college, going through so much shit and just not knowing how to process it and unintentionally taking it out on others. And fuck, man, I relate to every bit of this. I hate this. And the reason why I hated it in college is because I guess subconsciously I felt called out.
Oof.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I go back to now with that same sort of mindset, and I'm just like, "Oh god, why did I hate this so much when I was younger?" Oh, that's why I hated this so much when I was younger.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird being able to look at this character with a different set of eyes and understanding what the intention was in writing her. Also, dang, that stream has also taught me that if I ask for fan art happens. I don't know what to do with this power.
You have reached a level of e-celebrity that is scary to think about, Jazzy. I hope you
No.
are...
No, because in the first part, I was like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if my little avatar got drawn in the style of Max's drawing from episode 1? Minutes later, people are messaging me it.
Again, you have an audience that will happily do that for you, Jazzy. Welcome to being an e-celebrity.
I don't know how to feel about that. I'm still processing that this is where I'm at, and I've been at this for nearly 2 years at this point, so...
You're processing that, and yet your VTuber avatar is an amalgamation of yourself and and your most famous voice role.
Look, I didn't make the dang thing, okay?
Yeah, but you're embracing it.
I happily use the Jazz Brush VTuber because I think it's awesome. That's just me. I thought it was cute, so I was like, oh, cool. I can have something that represents me on stream without showing my face. So,
Yeah.
despite
It's
the fact that
wonderful, isn't it?
despite the fact that I have no issue showing my face online in other circumstances, I don't know what's wrong with me. But no, those streams have been fun. Unfortunately, they got to go on hiatus for a couple weeks while I go visit family back home, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting back to it when we do.
Understandable.
But yeah, for those who haven't watched the streams, I'm on we just got through episode 2 last week, so. And that was a lot.
I will definitely say this. Oh, you go, Missy.
I was around for some of episode 2, and going back, like watching now, like it just the thought that came across my mind was like, I remember these slurs from my childhood.
Slurs or slang?
Both.
Were there slurs being used in episode 2, or did I just blank like?
Characters referring to each other in ways that, like, I remember and were meant with, like, in a bullying sense.
Okay.
Also,
It's
episode
just
2
like,
has...
I'm just like, good lord, this is it. I think it's meant to be before my generation, or like before our generation. Y'all are in my generation. I keep forgetting.
We're
Yeah.
not that much younger or, like, have that
I'm
much of an age
so
gap.
used to being the old one, fam.
And yet, if I'm not mistaken, I'm the oldest one in this group. Like,
I think by a few months, yes.
Yep. But just like, good lord. It's it's reflective of a time that I remember. Like, I was too young. I was a little young for that time, but like I still remember that era.
mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
wild to me. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, episode 2 also has like a very big emphasis on like the sort of like slut shaming that was very like common around about the era it was released in. Cause yeah, the shit that happens to Kate Marsh during that episode, I know a lot of people who dealt with that shit in high school. Not as extreme to that point that Kate Marsh went through, but like, holy fucking shit. That is just. I look back on that now and I'm just like, holy fuck, I knew so many people who went through this shit.
It's also very, as a choice-based game, I also find it interesting because there are a bit more moments where it feels like choices you made in a previous episode will actually come back very strong later on. Like, there was a bit during the stream that near the end, if y'all saw, where we basically got the choice of who to blame for everything that happens at the end of that episode. And if you blame like the security guard David, if you got a picture of him doing shit in the previous episode, you can bring it back, and that was satisfying.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's rare that I see episodic and choice-based games like that actually have like bring the choices back that strongly.
I know, like, Telltale did a lot of that in, like, its Walking Dead series. Like,
Mhm.
there are choices where that stretch back to as close as, like, episode 1 that affect you all the way until episode 5. Like, it
Right.
is that, like, Telltale and Don't Nod are fucking great at that sort of thing.
I feel like the greatest disservice that Life is Strange has is that it only has 2 endings.
I will say, yeah, that is my biggest problem, is the fact that the ending is a bit binary. So
Yeah, it's literally, it's just like, oh, you even after all of these choices, you still only have to make one more choice at the end that pretty much dictates what ending you get.
right, and I know I've been coming out of this with a more positive opinion of Life is Strange overall. I have a feeling I'm still going to feel the same way I do about this ending choice as I did years ago, but it'll be fun leaving it to the audience, because for those who don't know, I've been leaving major plot decisions up to chat voting.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
yeah, you have.
And like the chat voting has honestly not failed you yet, I feel.
No, the only time it got split was near the beginning of episode 2, where whether you encourage Kate to tell the police or not, and then
Yep.
it got tied, and like Shakira, Jordy, and I had to just figure it out on our own. Like,
Yup,
what
I
do
was there for that.
Yeah, I remember that. I was like, oh, this one's a tough one.
Yeah, no, that's what I live for in these streams. That's what makes it really fun, and it makes me really want to do more of these choice-based games in future streams. Like, I'll probably do the other entries in Life is Strange at some point, especially with Double Exposure coming out. So
Yeah.
Right, yes, there's another one.
yeah, Max is back, and
yeah, and it's
hell-
following one specific ending from like the game. But
Mhm.
but the
Yes,
funny thing
X.
is, the funny thing is that Double Exposure follows one ending, but the comics follow another ending of it. So it's just like,
Oh, that's so sick.
yeah.
Ah,
And
we're
as
getting-
somebody who has been following the comics of Life is Strange, fucking great stuff.
Oh yeah, I need to read the comics. I heard they're great. But yeah, it's interesting because Double Exposure being announced was the whole reason I wanted to do a stream of Life is Strange. Like, because I was like, oh, this franchise I thought I didn't really think much of, I'm suddenly caring because they brought back a character I like. So
I will say this. Life is Strange 2 is genuinely the weakest of the entire franchise. True Colors, like, honestly, I sometimes go back and forth between the OG Life is Strange and True Colors at points because it's that good. So I would definitely recommend you
Friendship
at
Tours
least
by
go to
True
True
Colors.
Colors.
there's a part of me debating if I want to, like, because I do have 2 weeks where I'm out of state and I'm gonna have like one of my consoles with me. Part of me's debating just getting True Colors to kind of play on my own and see how I feel about it. So
Definitely think
Or-
about it.
because again, I definitely want to do all the Life is Strange games. I'll definitely, like, I talked to Shakira and Jordy about it, and while Shakira's kind of reluctant to do Before the Storm, she says she'll join if we do it.
I mean, I'll be happy to join if you do Before the Storm.
Right, yeah, I can let Shakira know, hey, if you really don't want to do Before the Storm, I have someone else lined up.
And look, as a defender of Chloe Price for like the majority of it, like I said in the chat of like the stream of the game, Before the Storm brings a lot of like Chloe's feelings on the matter, like where she is at the beginning of Life is Strange, a lot more context given what you see in that. Like it still doesn't really like it really doesn't make it better with how she reacts to a lot of things based on choices you make, but at the same time it's like, come on. It's one of those things where it's just like, you look at that and you're just like, yeah, like, this makes sense with that context.
Realizing I may need to play all the games ahead of time, because one thing I do, like, with the benefit of having played Life is Strange before, I'm able to do, like, content warnings and stuff. Well, I do test playthroughs, like, before each before each stream, so I can, because I know it handles a lot of heavy stuff, so I try to make sure I get a good idea of, like, what each episode is doing. Like, episode 2 had a big one near the end that I was like, okay, I need to put a content warning, like, front and center, like.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely those test playthroughs have definitely helped. So maybe I'll play, since I have Before the Storm, since I got the remastered duology, maybe I'll play through that at some point.
Yes.
Is a remastered duology?
Yes, that's how I'm playing these games, because like I was like, okay, I don't think I have it on this PS4. I may need to rebuy them. And then I saw that the remastered collection was on sale for the same price it would be to just get the individual episodes of the the regular PS4 Life is Strange. So
wild.
And it comes with Before the Storm as well. So I was like, yeah, I'll just do that. Like, I'll have both games so I can do Life is Strange, and if people really want me to do Before the Storm, which seems to be the case, I'll have it. So yeah, no, I from what I'm aware, I haven't played all of Life is Strange 2. I am aware it delves into a lot of very relevant political topics, which that'll be fascinating. I'm a bit reluctant to do Life is Strange 2 as a result of that, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to make this not fun.
Because, yeah, if I recall, Life is Strange 2 is a lot more politically charged for the time it came out, because it was like 2015 and 2016 it came out in.
Yeah, and it tackles topics that were very relevant to the time, and let's be real, still pretty relevant now, so.
Yep.
But yeah, so there's that. And yeah, I've been wanting to play True Colors. That one looks genuinely great. I don't know why I've slept on it as much. That's a weird game, because I want to play it, but I keep sleeping on it.
Listen, as long as you get good rest.
Right.
Gosh, like what? Gosh, okay, so that's what you've mainly been up to with that one there, Jazzy. What have you been up to, Missy?
Screams are echoing from inside the dungeon. I've mostly just been keeping on. I've got some very new stuff that's underway in terms of voiceover.
Hell yeah.
Not a whole lot, not much to show yet. Let's see. I've been getting dragged back into fighting games because of the past. All right, so Evo, the Evolution fighting game tournament, or the fighting game tournament is called Evolution, but everyone calls it Evo. I got to watch that with a couple friends. One of my friends dragged a TV that he uses for like a third computer monitor. He dragged it back onto his back porch and invited me and another friend over, and we just hung out for the day and watched watched the final day of the fighting game tournament. And that was the one where Guilty Gear Strive had its finals, and it was some of the most hype shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Some of the highest tier Jacko play that I've ever seen. It was wild. And I used to play back when I got dragged into starting to learn Guilty Gear Strive. Like I play recreationally, for lack of a better word. Like just enough to have fun. And like the character Jacko was the reason why I started playing. Should surprise absolutely no one. I wound up not sticking with Jacko because, as it turns out, Bridget was the character that I actually understood. Yeah, funny, innit?
I distinctly remember you talking about like that when during like the December podcast, I believe.
Really?
Yes, I remember that because that's the podcast where I lucidly was talking because I was fucking just getting over COVID at that time.
I will take your word for it. But yeah, I'm like, oh no, I'm going to get back into Guilty Gear at this point.
I mean, is that really such a bad thing, getting back into Guilty Gear?
No, it's really not. It's really not. Also,
never-
I've been looking for alternatives to play on stream.
Oh yeah, because you
As
mainly stream like
VTuber.
the Hoyoverse games, don't you?
Yeah. Yep.
And you kind of don't want to right now because of all the
and
bullshit
I don't
going on
want
in the
to right
Hoyoverse
now.
games.
Yep. And like I have no problems with that. Honestly, I'm perfectly fine finding other games instead of finding other games that actually have a beginning, middle, and an end already. Also, I've been having a lot of fun with HoloCure, which is the Hololive VTuber version, not version of of Vampire Survivors. Same principle, but like it's a different game, different developers. Very fun game though. Oh, I have also all right. I beat my first run at Hades.
Hell yeah!
Finally.
I still need to play Hades.
Oh, it's
Hades
so
is
good.
really freaking good. It makes my hands shake from how tense it gets every so often.
Yeah, I remember like my first completed run. I was like right in the middle of coming home from like work one time, and I was like so fucking close. I was like, it was coming up to my bus stop, and I was like, please let me fucking get this done. It
Oh,
literally.
you were playing on the bus?
Yes, because I used to take my Switch with me, and I used to play it on when I was on public transport going to and from
Nice.
work. I don't do that anymore because I work from home, and honestly, fucking godsend that I'm able to work from home.
Cheers.
Yeah, but I distinctly remember doing that for the first time, and I was like, oh! I remember screaming that on the bus, and there was like only 2 people on there, and they were just like, what the fuck's wrong with her?
Awesome.
And it was like,
yeah,
it was like the
I
stop right before
beat my-
mine, and I was like, oh fuck yes, let's go!
I went into the final boss for the run with all my death defiances.
Oh, that's honestly the best thing, to be honest, because like,
Including the keepsake.
yes, that is good.
I used all of them.
Yeah, you need all. Yeah, like my personal thing is just like your
I
first
think I
run of
got out with I got out with like 22, if not less HP.
Ah, yeah, that's just the most clutch feeling when you're just like that close to death, like your final death,
And that's the first time I'd ever fought that boss too.
ah,
Like
it's just so satisfying.
I'm a fan of speedrunners, and Hades is a very popular speedrunning game.
This
So
is-
like I'm familiar with the boss and its mechanics.
this is just making me so excited for when Hades 2
I just
gets out of beta.
It's still really good. Well, like it's early access, but it's already got so much polish on it.
That does not surprise me given how long Hades 1 was in that same early access stage for. But I want to wait until the story aspects are in place because
That's fair.
while I could definitely just mindlessly go through run after run after run and get my practice in for it, I want to be able to have the same experience I did playing Hades 1, and that's yes, I know I am going to die multiple times, but I get to be able to have all these different experiences every time I die with all the people that I meet in each run.
Yeah.
Because that's like
Oh.
half the fun of Hades right there.
Yeah, totally. Something both of you will enjoy. During the Steam summer sale, I picked up Hatsune Miku Project Diva Megamix Plus.
Oh my
Well, yeah.
god.
I need to take advantage of more Steam sales now because my roommate Ash was nice enough to get me an early birthday present for very early for the sake of my convenience more than anything. I have not a Steam Deck. I have a gaming
Okay.
laptop.
Hell yeah!
I just need to be able to like remind myself, hey, you don't have to save up that much money anymore. You fucking have done all of the big things that you have needed to save up for this year. You have the luxury well, I can do that once I come back from the US. Spoiler alert. I don't think I've said about this on the podcast yet, but I'm coming to the US at the end of September to the first week of October, and I am excited for that fact because I get to see my wife again.
Yay!
Go!
And for the
Yeah,
record,
if you're anywhere,
because I don't think I've ever said this on the podcast, I have not seen my wife in 4.5 years. The last time I saw her was right before the international borders closed in Australia. I literally came back the same day they announced that.
Oh damn!
Yeah. So
Holy!
the last time I saw her was on my last flight back from the US, and then the same day I came back, they were just like, yeah, we'll close out the borders due to COVID. And I'm like,
oh,
damn. So, yo, I'm fucking excited. But at the same time, I'm just like, oh, I've got 2 big videos coming out around about that period of time. So I'm probably gonna need to like get a few ready to go before that happens. So the next month and a half is going to be interesting for me because I'm going to be writing up scripts and filming stuff and getting stuff ready to go. Because when I come back, because while I'm over there, a big video is going to be releasing, and then when I come back, I'm going to be back to work working on another big video at the end of October.
Yar.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, I've also I have no shortage of a backlog of games. I also have Final Fantasy VII Original and Final Fantasy X and X too.
funny enough, the game I tested my gaming laptop's capabilities with, Final Fantasy 13 was on sale for like a couple bucks on the Microsoft store. So I was like, why not?
That's a fucking steal.
And so I was like, sure, this will be a good test of it. And yeah, good computer.
Am I one of the only ones who enjoys Final Fantasy 13?
Well, let me tell you something, Missy. I like it too.
Yeah, I've come
Excellent.
around on it, in all honesty. I've definitely come around on 13, to be honest. I used to be one of those people who paid attention to the JonTron and Spoonie One opinion of it's a fucking hallway, it fucking sucks, the characters are fucking stupid. But going back to
I
it, I'm just like,
I hate JonTron. I also hate that she's so incredibly memorably memeable. To this day, the phrase "the game plays itself" is burned into my vernacular.
No,
yeah.
it's that was another case of people parroting shit to me, parroting another YouTube critic's opinion to me, because I've liked Final Fantasy 13 for years, and everyone just jokingly repeated the game plays itself, and I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Like you didn't,
those. Yeah, that.
you never,
I used to
you
be one
never
of those,
played it.
I used to be one of those people. I'm glad I'm not one of those people anymore because Final Fantasy VIII has become one of my favorite Final Fantasies. And while I
Oh, I love it.
and while I certainly won't put Final Fantasy 13 on that same level, I can appreciate it a lot more now because fuck the idea that it's a fucking hallway or it plays itself. That's kind of a bullshit argument. The story is fucking amazing.
I like the characters in 13. Like I really like Lightning. I don't get the hate for Lightning. I love her. Like she's
I love Lightning. I love Vanille. I love Fang. I love Saz. I love Sarah.
I have a love-hate relationship with Snow because he's a fucking idiot, but I kind of love his enthusiasm, so
Agreed.
Yeah.
like he's a fucking idiot, but like
He is the ultimate Final Fantasy himbo. I think I can be honest
Yeah.
about that.
If he had if he had fewer brain cells, I would be 100% solid calling him a himbo. Considering that he fancies himself a tactician, or like that he fancies himself a hero and not just like, oh, I'm here to help out. He's got. Does ambition have something to do with being a himbo? I don't know.
A little bit.
himbos can be a bit overly ambitious, so
Maybe.
Ha.
Something I need to think about over the next while.
Definitely. I mean, God, given how long it took to get this one out, I think we might be able to squeeze out one more maybe before the inevitable US and like whatever is going on with y'all. I don't know if you're taking a huge break anytime before the end of September, Jazzy.
huge break before the end of September.
Yeah, I'm just thinking because like same time frame as like when I'm going to the US.
Yeah, I'm like I said, in next starting on Tuesday, I'm taking a trip back to Colorado to see family members and everything. Censor that, please.
Oh yeah.
Censor
Oh
the
yeah,
stage
don't
name,
worry,
please.
I'll censor that out. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Editing Chloe. Get
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah. I might be seeing my partner sometime. Like we're thinking October or so. So
Sick.
I'll just be missing the end of September on that one.
And I'll just be missing you both.
You can call me at any time, Missy. You have my Discord.
I will
I'll
literally
be
be in the
here.
I will literally be in the same time zone roughly as all y'all. So like this won't be such a problem. So it'll be fine.
Yes.
But yeah, like
I have nothing going on. I'm going nowhere.
but yeah, I think we might be able to squeeze out one more before all that happens. But for
Let's
now,
squeeze in.
I think this should be good.
Alrighty.
All right, for myself, for Jazzy, for Missy, thank you all for listening.
I'll put
We
words in my mouth.
shall hopefully see you maybe within the next month or so. We'll see how we go.
Bye.